Three, two, one. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
So, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Everyone's wearing green. Cool. And I see you got some lovely hats.
Me too.
Kind of wish I had a hat, but all right, that's fine. We'll make do with what we got. So, everybody ready to go to North Carolina? If you guys remember from last week, I gave you a sneak peek where we were going to go. So, yeah. So, we're here. We're going to go to North Carolina. So, ladies and gentlemen, by a show of hands, have any of you been to North Carolina? One. Just one? Okay, cool. That's fine. Just a sec. So, okay. I've never been to North Carolina. I've heard things about it. So, let's talk about it, shall we? So, let's start with the flag. So, right here, we have the North Carolina flag. We have two dates on here. May 20th, 1775. April 12th, 1776. This is when they were established as a colony, and this was when they declared independence. And then that's when they joined the United States. It's pretty simple, really. Then you have the NC letters, North Carolina, the white star, and the colors of the American flag. So that should give you an indicator as to the history of the flag. So shall we move on to the next slide? So I forgot to put up a usual map up here, but I think you guys can tell where North Carolina is. But here it is. Let's talk about some brief history and some geography that you should know. So North Carolina is located in the American Southeast, obviously bordering South Carolina to the north. And as you probably can already guess, it has pretty much the similar geography to that of its southern neighbor, its southern twin. And just like with South Carolina, it's got mountain regions with plains, coastal plains, and plateaus. And bordering along the Appalachia, I think that's going to be a reoccurring theme as we're going further up north in the American South. But what you have to know is that the capital is Raleigh, but the largest city is Charlotte. And as far as the climate is concerned, very similar to its twin to the south, in that it's a humid subtropical climate, meaning that it gets warm to humid during the summers and it gets mildly cold during the winters. So
does it snow there?
In some places, yes. If you're going up higher within the coastal plateaus, along the line of the Appalachia, things like that. So let's talk about some brief history real quick. So this is what the map used to look like, because nobody knew what the land looked like. We didn't have GPS at the time, even though they should have paid for it. So before the arrival of, you guys heard that. So before the arrival of Europeans, the land was inhabited by Algonquin people. You're going to notice a trend here that along the eastern seaboard of the United States, you have these Native Americans like the Algonquin, the Iroquois, and so on and so forth. And along the Algonquin were, like I said, the Iroquois, but you'll also find the Siouan people. They lived along the river lines. And so the United States came about during the 1770s. And then obviously you had North Carolina being part of the original colonies. So if you guys remember in school, there were 13 colonies. North Carolina was one of them. So throughout the years, they changed, sort of, and then they became what they are, which we're going to talk about later on. So as far as the name of North Carolina, it's the same story as their twin to the south. Just named after King Charles of England. That's it. Nothing special there. So if we move on to the next slide. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you Crowder's Mountain State Park. So, yeah.
That's pretty.
It's very mountainous, very heavily forested, and its cliffs are very popular amongst mountain climbers. So anyone done rock climbing before?
Rock climbing?
Yeah.
I've seen it, I haven't done it.
Matt, have you done rock climbing?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you get up there, Matt?
I did. There's a lot of you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Someone made it to the top. Sweet. Yeah, its cliffs are very popular amongst rock climbers. Yeah, dozens of people every month go to rock climb these very cliffs.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is it right here, from what I saw. Like right about here, these are the cliffs.
Where the cliffs are, yeah.
So yeah, whoever's not afraid of heights, go in and climb the cliff faces. Oh, that's just the small part. That's just the small part of it. You should see the bigger ones.
Whoa.
Yeah, but let's talk about what else North Carolina is known for. Oh, before we move on, I forgot to mention, this is what it looks like from the top of one of the mountains. So, like I said, it's mountainous and it's heavily forested with a few settlements here and there. So, once you make it to the top, you get to see this aerial view, but more like a top mountainside view. So imagine, if you would, climbing up a high mountain and looking down. Again, you better not be afraid of heights if you ever go up here, because it's quite a long way up and it's just as a long way down. So don't get vertigo.
I'm not.
You're not, but
You?
I'm not afraid of heights, but
Okay.
I've never done rock climbing before. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Anyone like NASCAR?
I did.
Okay, cool. So if you guys like NASCAR, you're gonna like this, the NASCAR Hall of Fame. It was opened in 2010,
Whoa.
and every year there are 3 inductees who make it into the Hall of Fame. But amongst those names, you might be familiar with them. They include Dale Earnhardt Sr., Bill Elliott, and Jeff Gordon.
Right.
Wow.
Good job.
Yep. So some big names in NASCAR, they end up in here. So let's move
Shannon,
on.
who's the new NASCAR driver?
Who is it?
Bowman?
Yep.
Okay.
I might have heard of him, but
Nice.
I don't follow NASCAR. Then again, I don't follow sports.
She loves NASCAR.
So who's hungry? Let me adjust this a little so the people can see this. There you go. Now we got a better view of Southern barbecue. So let me explain something, everybody. So when you go to South Carolina, North Carolina, or just about anywhere in the American South, you're going to notice barbecue obviously is going to be a huge staple. Barbecue ribs in North Carolina, it is cooked differently. So wherever you go in North Carolina, it will determine how it's cooked. So if you go to the western part, the barbecue is seasoned with vinegar, ketchup, pepper, and other spices.
Wow.
But that's not the best part. It is only the pork shoulder that is used in the western style.
Wow.
But the eastern style, they usually don't have any of those things. But they use vinegar, seasoning, and they use spices after cooking.
So good.
Yep. Pork ribs, people.
Yep.
Common staple. Who's hungry for more?
Yes.
Mac and cheese.
There you go.
Yet another common staple in the American South. Midwest, mountain, South. You're going to notice this everywhere. Yep. It's made with, you guessed it, cheese and macaroni.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be called mac and cheese. It would just be called pasta and cheese. What would be the fun in that? What would be the fun in that? So it's a common staple. Yeah, they would often put cheese on here, but I guess from what I'm understanding, in some places they allow you to put a lot more cheese than usual. I guess, but I'm assuming it depends on where you go. So let's move on to
Who
more
else likes
food.
mac and cheese in here?
Oh yeah, who likes mac and cheese?
That makes it with me.
I'll make that.
Yep. Who likes Krispy Kreme? Yep, Krispy Kreme donuts.
Wow.
It was. Donuts and coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
Michelle, tell
Oh,
Jeremy what you just told me. You had one last night.
Oh, lucky you then that we're talking about donuts. So it was founded, Krispy Kreme Donuts was founded in 1937 in a little place called Salem, Winston-Salem.
Wow.
And ever since then, they've barely changed their recipe. Some places change their recipes, others do not. This is one of them. So here's a question. Who likes just the regular flavor?
I do.
What do you call that? The glaze?
Glaze.
Yeah. Who likes the regular glazed donut?
What's your favorite donut, Vicky?
Chocolate, strawberry, all kinds.
All kinds. What's
Ooh.
your favorite one, Jolene?
Mine's a little bit, a little sugar on it.
Sugar on it?
Oh, the sugar coating. Yeah.
What's your favorite, Travis?
Vanilla.
Vanilla, yes.
Oh.
Tim, what's your favorite donut?
What?
What's your favorite donut?
donut? Chocolate raised? Okay.
Oh, you had me at chocolate.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Matt Mira, what's your favorite?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
That's my crowd right there. Chocolate.
What's your favorite, Shannon?
Let's just see what one I like. Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Ooh, nice.
Rochelle, what's your favorite?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Oh. So once you guys are done with your donuts, who wants dessert? Looks good, right? You are not going to believe what this is. This is a sweet potato pie.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah?
Tell what we like to do. Eat.
Yeah, so this is pie made from sweet potatoes.
That is
It is often topped with cream and pecans.
nice.
So remember when I said last week that sweet potatoes are something of a common staple? Yeah, yes, where they got that from? South Carolina. Then it was just shared by everybody. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So let's talk about some famous people, shall we? Recognize this gentleman? Who is he?
Andy Griffith.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Andy Griffith.
I know. I saw it on my TV today.
Sing it. I'm joking.
Now, what was his aunt's name? Do you remember what his son's name was?
I know Joe for you, Barney.
Barney.
Oh.
And B.
And we right there, and then Opie.
Opie.
Okay.
Very good.
Cool. So,
Yeah, he's gone now.
those of you who don't know, he's an actor, comedian, producer. Yep. And he lived to be 86 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
He lived from 1926 to 2012.
Wow.
So yeah, everyone remembers him as one of the greatest actors and comedians out there. And best known for, if we move on to the next slide, The Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
So any of you watch the Andy Griffith Show?
I did not know.
Once upon a time, the Andy Griffith Show.
It's on TV land.
Right.
And now they have a DVD collection.
That is so funny.
As of 2022, they have a DVD collection.
I don't get how many days?
We live in the 2020s. We have everything on digital.
And he said opium now on Happy Days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was Ron Howard.
Oh, yeah. Ron Howard.
Yeah.
I like Happy Days.
It'll be all man now.
Yep.
Oh, trouble.
So who recognizes this gentleman? Anybody? No?
No.
You recognize?
Who's
Come
that?
on.
So who this is, people, this is Caleb Branham. You're probably familiar with him as being a pharmacist and inventor of a certain soda, if we move on to the next slide.
Really?
Pepsi! 100% serious.
Wow.
Late 1800s, he invented Pepsi.
Oh, yeah.
And that's your Pepsi too.
Yeah.
You guys need to go get it out on.
You know the name, you know the logo, you know the colors. Pepsi.
No, me either.
A bit-
Tim likes Pepsi, huh, Tim?
Hey, Jimmy.
Aren't you glad I showed this then?
Oh, that's
So ever since Pepsi was founded, they and a certain company called Coca-Cola have been rivals ever since. They've been producing other beverages like Gatorade, Powerade, competing against each other in just about every sports drink.
She said cherry Pepsi turkey.
Yeah. Funny enough, I've never even tried cherry Pepsi.
I know.
I do.
From what I'm understanding, oh man, that's a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
That's how I understand it, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about the people. So like I said, here's South Carolina, but here's North Carolina. So as of 2020, there are over 10 million people living in North Carolina. Most of them live not in Raleigh, but a lot of them live in the largest city, which is Charlotte. And if I can find Charlotte on the map, there it is, right there. Charlotte is right here. Raleigh is over here. It's quite a distance between the capital and the largest city. So, like I said, over 10 million people live in North Carolina. And the most common ancestries, get this, English, German, and Scottish, and Irish.
Yeah, that's that.
And Scots-Irish.
That's that.
Yep, Irish, kind of like the colors we're wearing today. So yeah, and you'll notice a few other settlements, like Kitty Hawk, Jacksonville, Wilmington. There are only a few places within the coastal areas. That's it. So let's conclude today's class, shall we? So here's our license plate right here. Yes, I know, Carmen, that's expired.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Expired. North Carolina DMV, I hate to break this to you, this is expired. So here's the license plate. North Carolina on the bottom, first in flight, because that's where the first aviation took place. I kind of forgot to mention that. The Wright brothers flew their airplane over here in North Carolina. So yeah. So in conclusion, just like its neighbor to the south, its twin neighbor, South Carolina, it is a place that is said to have never changed. Apart from a few things, a lot of things are maintained. The food, the traditions, and sports teams. Yes, Matt, I know I skipped over the sports team, but that's because we already talked about it last week. So I would have talked to you guys about sports, but like I said last week, South Carolina does not have a professional sports team because a lot of them come from the north. But you know what? They might as well just have not just the same border, they might as well have the same people. So ladies and gentlemen, if you ever go to North Carolina, Yes, try the barbecue over there. Try their Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah.
No, not over here.
You don't like Krispy Kreme? We just talked
Come
about.
over here, over here, come on.
I said visit, not live there. Come on, we're traveling to there. We're not settling there.
No. No.
Yeah, if you want to.
Over here, over here.
So, thank you guys so much for having me here. I will see you guys on the road. Oh, and I almost forgot again, a little sneak peek. We're going to go to the Dakotas next. So we're going to include this, a little experimentation. We're going to include them as one state. So we'll see what happens from there.
All right.
All right, thank you so
Over
much.
here.
Thank you. Matt, are you going to dance for us?
Oh,
Come on.
I got it. Oh, man. I'm
I say with them.
No, no.
I'm watching you guys. I hit back.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I'm busy. Okay.
All right, what are you gonna show us, Matt?
You back. Is he chilling?
Get like that, please.
Hold on.
Nice.
Lights. You okay?
Get down.
Action.
There you go.
So today is St. Patrick's Day, and Matthew is gonna teach us how to dance music.
Let's show you first. Let's show you. Because mine. Have fun. You want to job.
You're part Irish? We're just waiting for some music.
Bless you. Bless you. Yeah.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
I did it already.
Without the music?
No.
Go. That was it.
Anybody else want to come up and try to dance with Matt? Come on, Rochelle. Awesome. Matt, show Rochelle how to do it.
Show Rochelle. She wants to learn. Come on.
Ready? Hey!
Good job.
Good job!
All right, guys. Good job.
Matt. Here, I want to tell you something.
All right. What do you ladies want to say?
Happy birthday, Mama, Dad.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Sing out, John.